Hey, good morning. What's up, OGs converts? It's your boy, Norm. This is the Leafs Convo, Season 8, Episode 9, November 16, 2025. I'm obviously flying solo. Mr. Augello is on assignment somewhere in the Carolinas. And the good thing is he doesn't have to go through the minutia that was last night's latest loss from the Maple Leafs, a 3-2 defeat at the hands of the Chicago Blackhawks in Chicago. That's five straight losses now for your Maple Brothers. They're hovering around the bottom of the standings. And as we sit here today, it does not look very good. I was thinking of some questions I wanted to ask you that you could give me some feedback on, like what can the Maple Leafs do to right the ship? What would you do to get this team back on track? For me, I don't think there is a question as to how this team can get into a better place because I just believe that the team is what it is. I mean, do you make a trade? Well, you have to have a willing trade partner. Do you think you're going to get somebody like a Nick Robertson to go scorched earth and carry the team, and Easton Cowan's going to come alive and start scoring goals in his rookie season? I doubt it. Um, do you just wait until guys like Austin Matthews return and Chris Tanev, potentially Anthony Stolarz, gets healthy enough to get into a proper tandem with Joseph Woll, who looked pretty decent last night in his return to action? I mean, there are lots of questions, but there is no one question that we can have an answer provided that will kind of get us into a place where we can feel positive about this team right now. You look at the standings. Um, the Leafs are like second last in the Eastern Conference, tied with or just 2 points ahead of Mike's Buffalo Sabres. 18 points on the season, 8 wins, 9 losses, two of those overtime defeat thingies. Pretty ugly, a -5 for the season. Now, if you want to try to find some solace in where the Leafs are in the standings, you can look at other teams that are right around them. Like Washington was pretty good last year. They're off to a shitty start, and the Florida Panthers, 19 points on the season. You're back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, not looking so good. But again, they kind of laid in wait for most of last season and then really turned it on when they had a chance to take advantage of a Maple Leafs team that just didn't have a heck of a lot of nerve. I'm not going to go too long today. I wanted to say thank you very much. Like the content, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you guys coming back week in and week out. But I just wanted to go through a couple of comments to see how you're feeling about things. And I know the general consensus is frustration. But is it frustration believing that there is a way to right, as I said, right the ship, get this team back on track, and you're here for it, or are you just numb based on the shitty start that the Maple Leafs are involved in right now? What's going on with Austin Matthews and just the injuries and how it seems like Craig Berube is not connecting well with this group? Is it just a malaise, and are you basically keeping your fingers crossed for a turnaround? That's kind of what I want to find out this morning. Chad Doyle, he's in the chat, and I appreciate it. On the bright side, Woll is back. On the dark side, so is our defensive unit. Look, Brandon Carlo's been shit on a lot this season, but the deal to pick him up around the trade deadline last spring was a good thing, and we were excited about it, and we kind of looked at him as being the other side to the coin, if paired with Morgan Riley, which he was, and they seem to have pretty good success. He's off to a slow start, and a lot of the frustration revolving around Carlo and fans' perceptions is that he's not physical enough. The guy's a fucking giant. You think he should, be throwing elbows and pushing guys, in the Zdeno Chara kind of thing. But he, unfortunately, he's just not that kind of guy. It happens when it's incidental, and that's another point of frustration for a lot of fans. It's like, why is this team not more physical, like throughout the lineup, just consistently? Because again, you can have all the talent in the world, if you don't have the balls to compete night in and night out and go to war, go to battle, and be physical, you're never going to get anywhere. And we see this time in and time out. At the end of the season, the team that's hoisting that damn cup is the one that does it all. And the Maple Leafs are leaving a lot to be desired right now. Carlo not around. Tanev, I mean, he's a leader, right? The thing about Chris Tanev is, and I've made this point several times, I mean, he may have played his last game. And I say that in jest. right? He's most likely going to be back. But in his late 30s now, how much more does he have left in the tank? So that's why it was just so damn important for the Leafs to fulfill that run last season with guys like Tanev playing at peak but without much left. We don't know. And that's a real scary damn thing right now. We look at the defensive group, we're not too happy about it. The team's a -5 as a whole. And Morgan Riley will never be looked at in a favorable way by the fan base. So again, asking questions as to what needs to be done to get things back on track. It's a series of questions, and maybe the question is, can anything be done other than just kind of sit on your hands, bite your tongue, and watch to see what the hell goes on next? Then we got Greg Knight in the chat here too. Greg, thank you very much. Please, no more Myers. He makes Mo look bad. Uh, you know, like Philly Myers. Like, what are you expecting from this guy, right? He's just a guy. A lot of the players on the Leafs are just guys until they're elevated by their teammates, until they get on a run, until they can do something special in the playoffs in particular. At this point, they're just guys. When you're hovering around the basement of the standings, they're all just guys, and it is a really, really, really frustrating thing to watch right now. But again, what can be done? Wilfred Witzke, an OG. Time for a rebuild. Trade Willie, Matthews, and Mo. It's new DNA required. Well, can you imagine? I doubt it. Could you imagine? And the poll that I could conduct in community would be: are you for a rebuild or against a rebuild? And again, more of a facetious question, because we know a rebuild isn't coming anytime soon. But would you want one? And how far would you be able to withstand the team circling the toilet bowl before you finally, capitulate and throw your hands up and say it's time to start looking at this team going into a different direction? I mean, that would just be an insane thing to happen. It would be earth shattering, and it would be really, really, really contentious on so many levels. Do I see it happening? No, no, I don't. And again, that's why in terms of all of the different things that we can think about this team needing to do to get back on track, I mean, it's a multitude of things that have to happen for this group to kind of begin to work its way back up the standings with real purpose. And it just starts one game at a time. And every single time they get into a position where it looks like they may be able to win, Chicago, the recent games against the Kings, Boston, they blow it, and the resurgence is pushed off to another day. Right on the road, the Maple Leafs really, really terrible. 1-5. So I mean, you weren't really thinking that they would pick up that win Chicago last night, but they were in the lead. And Connor Bedard hasn't really had a chance to do anything of substance against the Maple Leafs. So him not having the greatest night gave the Leafs a pretty good opportunity to try to finish the deal. But again, just couldn't close the door. Craig Berube said afterwards that he's seeing a lack of confidence among the group, and regardless of whether these guys get paid millions of dollars and have been around forever and have scored 50, 60 in a season, it's going to happen. You're going to grip it too tight, and one loss begets another, and one bad occurrence leads to another, and then you just start to spiral out of control. One thing that we can look at right now, and as we assess what's going on, and we're almost at the quarter pole, is that the Leafs, are just less than a point per game where they sit right now. But when you calculate the standings and you look at the top teams in the division, Boston's got 24 points, so it's a 6-point spread. The way the Leafs are playing right now doesn't look like they can make up any ground, but it's only 6 points. And I know if Mike were here, that's what he'd be saying. It's very early. Guys aren't healthy. This team's going to find a way. But I don't blame the naysayer looking at this group and just not liking what they see. Let me go through some more of the comments here and see what else we have. Dennis Rodrigue, how are you, sir? All the D-men aren't playing good, and Willie, what a lazy player. What is that? Like 2 games now, he hasn't registered a shot, right? Um, you know, not lately, but Willie had been known to be, a petulant guy, right? And we saw more of that from Mitch Marner over the past few seasons, especially as the pressure ramped up late when he was needed most and was a ghost. But it's not like William Nylander hasn't had, his run-ins with coaching staff going back several years. And it's not like it can't happen again. Willie's a passionate guy. For as cerebral and stoic as he can come across, you've got to think that the dude wants to win. I mean, he's been an organizational guy for what, 10 years now, and 2 playoff series wins to show for it. Again, he's part of the success. He's part of the failure. So here's the thing. Number 16's in Las Vegas. He's no longer the pincushion around here. I mean, he can be in his absence for sure. I mean, we're always going to dislike this guy for a lot of reasons, and some of them unfairly. But he's not here physically now. So the ire and the anger and the frustration are going to be directed at guys like William Nylander and Austin Matthews. So when they're not playing well and things aren't going well, and when it's not like we're in a situation where the Leafs are playing 500 and some nights they're good, some nights they're not. I mean, it's been really shitty for a good period of time to start the season, for pretty much the entire season. So regardless of how many points William Nylander has, I mean, you're going to see that frustration boil over. But we also know that in Toronto, there's a magnifying glass on you that is a lot greater than in a lot of markets, if not all of them. And when you show emotion that may be construed as negative, it's going to be metastasized in the way that it's viewed and the way that it's transmitted to the rest of the hockey world. So I do like the passion for sure, but petulance I'm not the biggest fan of. But you can't blame these guys right now for showing a bit of both because of the situation the team finds itself in. Edward Lee. Tank, Leafs, tank. Yeah, remember those days, right? I mean, they couldn't tank to save their lives, and then they finally got that number 1 pick. And I mean, he's been, one of the greatest scorers of all time, at least over a certain period. But it's that guy right now, nearly 10 years into his tenure, who's taking a large amount of criticism for, I don't know, not scoring like he once did. And I mean, there could be injuries involved, and he's clearly not in the, he's not in the lineup right now. But when, again, your top guy is not producing at the level we've known him to produce at, and the team as a whole is not competing at the level that we've seen it compete at year in and year out, I mean, you're going to be pissed off, and fans have every right to feel negative about this team right now in terms of just staying the course. I guess that's really all we can do, because the way I look at this landscape with the team and the way the defense is constructed, the shitty start for Stolars and him being overworked and Woll not necessarily being around until last night, and Matthews not scoring to the degree that he has in the past. I mean, it's just, I don't know, they're just going to have to find a way to win one game and then scrap and claw to win a second and get on a bit of a run, start working its way back up the standings and make all of us believe again. Greg Knight, I'll go back to you because I appreciate your contributions. Berube stays, trade Michelli or Carlo. Really only 2 guys they should move. Okay, well, again, Greg, the thing about moves is you could want to do them, right? I mean, Brad Treliving could, I don't know, down a bottle of scotch and lose his mind and say, that's it, this fucking team is getting pulled apart. I don't care if I lose my job. Let's have at it. But you have to have willing partners who view the assets that we all think are so shitty in a higher regard, right? And you have to have the ability to make those deals, and financially they have to make sense. So that's the thing, right? Picking a player up off the waivers here and there. I mean, those are stopgaps. Those are just guys filling in for other guys. In terms of big moves that could be made to push this team into a better place, I mean, that's above my pay grade and above yours as well. And really, it depends on how the organization is viewing its organization. and what it believes its next steps are. I can't imagine by any means that the intelligentsia at 40 Bay are looking down on this crew and believing it's time to blow it up, right? There's just so much invested into it. That said, the way it sits right now, how the hell is this team going to make the playoffs? And if it does, what's it going to do of substance in the playoffs? I mean, we think that what we've seen in the past was not enough. Like, what is this group going to be able to do, if at all, even make a run towards the postseason when it really counts? That said, we're a quarter way through an 82 game season, and that's the way it is right now. Francisco Pinto, this team is an embarrassment. They are done. Will you feel that way if they rattle off 3 straight wins, starting with who do they have? St. Louis on Tuesday. Where is it? No, St. Louis, yeah, Tuesday, and then they have Columbus at home on Thursday. So they're better at home than they are on the road, Francesco. Okay, so if they win those 2 games, and then they go into Montreal, and that's going to be tough. I mean, Mike's undersold Montreal. He didn't think they were going to be that great. Look at them. Okay, look at them. I mean, all those years ago. I mean, what are we talking about? Maybe 2010, 9, 10, 11, the PK Subban days. Montreal was Carey Price at peak. The Leafs were shit. Montreal was great. I hated it. I was so jealous. And when the Habs would get to the conference finals, I was quietly rooting against them. And when they lost, I was just so relieved because anybody but Montreal, right? So anyway, now look at them, and I don't want to get back to those days. I don't want to get back looking at Montreal and saying, "Shit, that's the team I wish I had." And you know what's crazy? It was a team that I had as a fan for a long period of time. It just did jack shit in the playoffs. 2 playoff wins with this group. So Francisco, would you feel the same way? Would you believe they are done if they somehow beat the Blues? Find a way to beat the Blue Jackets at home. That's 2 wins in a place where they're a little better than they have been on the road, and then go into Montreal and upset the Habs. So that's 3 straight wins. And we have this show 1 week's time. Mike's back. Are you going to say they are done and that they're an embarrassment? Right? I don't know. I mean, again, at the end of the day, my brother, like, I don't blame you for feeling this way, and it is what it is. My boy Arnav, RA9, Strash Squad. Brad did a terrible job, right? I mean, what was he to do? And look, I'm not backing him up or his moves, and I'm not advocating for what he does. But what was he supposed to do, right? I mean, we know how Mitch Marner, held the gun to this organization's head and really, didn't want to play ball at a time when, he could have kissed and made up on his way out the door and left some things for the organization to work with. I mean, it was tough, right? In terms of signings and things like that. Who did the Leafs really miss that they had a chance at getting? And I'm not saying you're wrong, Arnav. I'm just asking. I'm just asking the question. Let's see. We've got WDJ. Good to see you, buddy. Tank it. That pick to Boston is top 5 protected. Look, it's a contentious thing to talk about right now because I mean the way the Leafs are constructed and how much they have committed to guys. I can't think that John Tavares wants to be part of a tank job. I can't think Willie wants to be part of a tank job. I can't, obviously Austin Matthews. The thing about this team is that it does not look like they're bad enough to really truly tank, other than just like selling the farm. But again, outside of this belief that they're built for the playoffs, and that's a long way to go between now and then to really prove their worth, they don't look like they're that great either. And Austin Matthews, we go back to him, right? And any criticism is fair for this guy because he is the star, he makes the money, he is the captain, and there's a lot expected of him. He just does not look like the guy that we once knew. And there's a really good chance that he'll never be that guy, right? So what? Okay, so he picks away for the next 6-7 years, scores 35 goals a season, gets 600 plus for his career. What the hell's wrong with that? I mean, certainly wasn't like he was in the first half of his career, and then injuries started to pile up. Just, I mean, I don't know, the zest for the game starts to wane, based on that grind. I don't know, right? And he's just not the same player in the last 8 years that he was in the first 8 years of his career. But so what, right? So what? he's potentially a Hall of Famer, maybe the greatest American scorer ever. Did he fulfill the obligation that we believe that he set out to fulfill when he signed contracts and committed to the Leafs? No, but from his standpoint, I mean, it will be a career that that is among the greatest, especially among American players. And I'm just forecasting what may come. And if it's that, then so be it. Will he finish his career with the Maple Leafs? I mean, if there was a tank job, no. I mean, what if he wants out and is willing to facilitate a trade to the U.S.? And that's the point where the Leafs can pivot, right? That's also a possibility too. When the team is circling the toilet bowl and near the bottom of the standings, 20 games into a season, these are the kinds of things we talk about. If they were in first place, we'd still be pissed off, but I don't think we'd be wanting to blow the team up by any means. Okay, let's go to my boy right here, Spike 11. Always good to hear from you, Mr. Spike. It's not frustration, Norm, it's fear. I don't trust Treliving to make the right moves to right the ship. Well, someone's got to be able to see that above him and truly believe that, who knows what the fuck they're doing, and who has the ability to fire the guy and bring someone else in, right? You know, we entrusted Dubas to put this team in a good spot, and he made a lot of great moves, but he also set the team back, right? I mean, do we blame Treliving for what happened against the Panthers last spring? I mean, is it his fault? The Leafs up 2-0 on the Stanley Cup champions, and I'm going to keep going on about this. Again, coming off this Blue Jays situation that, I don't think I'll ever live down, regardless of all the pomp and circumstance of how far they got. I'm just so fucking pissed off about how they couldn't finish the deal. But with the Leafs, I mean, you're up 2-0 in game 3 with a chance to go up 3-0 on the Panthers. And the Panthers, again, won the Stanley Cup, but would they have been able to come back from a 3-0 deficit? The percentages are a lot lower. They couldn't put it away. Was that Brad Treliving's fault? Right? And now the way the team is comprised, I mean, injuries aren't helping, attitude's not helping, just the malaise of another cup run failure. There's a lot of things. But if Brad Treliving's not the guy to do it, I mean, they can get rid of GMs a lot easier than they get rid of players. So someone who knows what the hell they're doing and who can see what's happening and who has a reasonable way of forecasting what's potentially to come, and a lot of it potentially will be doom, then fire the fucking guy and hire some guy with brainiac hockey IQ that's just off the charts, and that can come in and rework things. And then again, I mean, how easy is that to do when you are encumbered by contracts and commitments and process and the lack of the ability to move the guys you want to move, because there are no willing participants. And if those who would want to do it are certainly not in a position, or really don't want to see you succeed in these kinds of deals, right? So that's why we can ask all these questions about, what does the team need to do to right the ship? How can this team get back on track? I mean, is there anything that can motivate this team beyond where it is right now? The thing we really, really just have to try to grin and bear through is this group playing one game at a time, one period at a time, one shift at a time, and potentially finding a way to get on a bit of a roll with the group they have. And then when the reinforcements come back, just gut out a season where they can make the playoffs, and then from there it's a different look, right? Instead of being a favorite, you're an underdog, and maybe that will get us excited again. Arnav, again, I'm going to get you in here. Treliving is the one who built this mess. I'm hoping is fired by the end of this. Look, I guess it's one of those things, right? When you're not in a good position, you're not playing well, guys are hurt, the optics suck. I mean, we are looking for people to blame, and we start to unpack all of the failure. And as of this moment, I mean, why not get rid of why not get rid of everybody? I mean, nobody here on this team right now, outside of maybe a John Tavares and a Nick Robertson of late, have looked that great. Joseph Woll, I mean, you can't really shit on him. He just got back, and he didn't look too bad. Didn't get a lot of help. Shitty goal to for the way that the Blackhawks won it. But I mean, nobody really stops those pucks when that damn puck is determined to get through everything and hit the twine. T-Sack, too many guys pass up hits. Well, look, you know, before the season started, the Dakota Joshua's and the and some of these guys who were brought on board, the idea was let's toughen up this team. We're going to lose some skill in number 16 being gone, but let's toughen up this team. I haven't seen it, right? I mean, from here and there, I haven't seen it, right? I want a bunch of psychopaths. I mean, especially now. I mean, if you're really struggling, like go out and play harder, right? Hit guys, make a stink, make yourself seen, make yourself known, and do something. I mean, yeah, you're struggling. It's not going your way. But I mean, just slipping into a warm bath is not going to get you moving in the other direction. So, TSAC, we know this has been a problem with this team for many a year, and that's just the lack of physicality. But again, it permeates from the top. Austin Matthews is not a physical guy, right? He's a skill guy. Mitch Marner would avoid contact as much as he possibly could. He was really good at it, but he wasn't going to seek it out. William Nylander's not a physical player. John Tavares, I mean, we've seen him get into physical situations that are not necessarily his fault, and he's been, he was out of the playoffs because he got a headshot. And anytime a guy like that gets hit in a real impactful way, the concern is, well, I mean, Tanev is another example. The concern is at their age, I mean, how much can they withstand, and how much will it affect them going forward, right? You need a bunch of young, dumb, and hungry players who are just out there like seething maniacs to go get the job done. And you know what? If you don't like that knuckle dragging aspect of how the game could be played, I mean, ask yourself how well things have gone with a team of ice dancers and ballerinas. I mean, that didn't go well during the Kyle Dubas era. Things have shifted slightly, but it's not enough. Right? When you're shitting the bed the way you are right now, you got to find a way to play a little different and do something a little different. I don't know if these guys are capable of it, and that's why I have so many questions about how this team can, get back on track. I don't know. I don't know if there's an answer to any of them right now. Really, the team's kind of at its own little stalemate. I'm not going to go on too much longer. I'm just going to look at some more of the comments here. Mike V. Team is slow. Cowan, a third liner at best. I mean, he's not lighting the lamp up too much. I mean, he did look like he wanted to dance a little bit with Bedard last night. I mean, that's okay. I mean, that's a sign that this new generation, they respect each other, but they might want to be a thorn in each other's side. I mean, the thing with Cowan though is like, what kind of environment is this for a kid like that? This should be one where, night in and night out, the team has a chance to win a game, and usually does, because it's continuing the movement that has been started all those years ago with the top guys. Marner's gone, but Callan, come on in. Watch how it's done. And a successful environment is going to, lend to his growth and development. Through 18 games of this season, his first season as a Maple Leaf, he's been with the team, went back down, now he's back up out of necessity. It's just been a bunch of guys. There's just really nothing to be excited about, nothing that's going to inspire this player. And yeah, maybe Cowan's not one of those, self-motivating kind of guys, or he's not the elite where he's just like a Sidney Crosby, or even this Connor Bedard or Connor McDavid, where you just drop him on any setup, any ice, anywhere. It doesn't matter how long he's been there. He's going to lead the way. Cowan's just not that guy. It doesn't seem like there's any leadership for him to follow at this stage. Again, 18 games through, we can't be patting this team on the back. And right now, if you're pissed off about how things are going, you think the team should tank, blow it up, trade guys, I don't blame you. I really don't. And again, if Mike were here, I'm sure he would disagree with all of us, because, Mike knows what he's talking about, and he's kind of slow and steady, and he's going to be here to defend, as opposed to, saber rattle or freak out, or, act like a fucking big crybaby. But he's not here, so we can all do that in his absence. Again, the Boston Bruins, top-ranked team in the Atlantic with 24 points. The Leafs have 18 points, so that's a gap of 6. And the Maple Leafs have only played 19 games, and the Bruins have played 20. So if the Leafs win their 20th, the Bruins lose. It's a four-point spread. That said, regardless of the points, it's just the way things are coming together. It's the way this team could be in the playoffs and we'd probably be having the same kind of conversation because we've been down this road so many times before. We've seen this team win division titles and we were still skeptical of the squad going into the playoffs. It's just how the team is built, who's running the team, and what we think the projections are going to be. And if we were skeptical before, we are certainly skeptical now. Alex, good morning. Norm, good morning to you. Thank you very much for being here. I'm going solo today, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me in the chat. Like the content, subscribe to the channel. Anytime you guys can help push along what we're doing, that would be great. I'll cut up some shorts from this, and then they'll go to the YouTube page. They'll also go to TikTok. So if you're on that fucking crazy medium, find the Leafs Convo and follow us so you can see what we're doing. You can like the content, you can share it. I'm just looking here, TSAC again. And this is why I've been looking for this. I've been hoping on a Matthews trade for 10 years. So when he started with the team, you wanted him dealt. When he was scoring 69 goals a season, you wanted him dealt. Oh, man. All right. One more from Arnav. And Arnav, you're stealing the show, buddy, but why not? You're amazing. This team is not making the playoffs, guys. Problem is Boston is going to get the first-round pick once again. Fuck, Boston lives rent free in Toronto's head. The Leafs had 3 seasons ago, they had a chance to kind of exercise those demons once and for all, and they couldn't do it. Right, Boston keeps beating the Leafs in the playoffs. Getting these picks that were that were dealt away and that could potentially come back to haunt the Maple Leafs. And the thing about it is, they went from the greatest regular season in history to missing the playoffs, and now they're back into a position where it looks like they're going to be a front runner in the division again. It was all because of a shitty start last year, and then Jim Montgomery got fired. Here's a guy who was the top coach on the top team in the league, and then a year later is axed. So if the Leafs are believe the same kinds of things that some of these other organizations do, guys like Craig Berube and even Brad Treliving aren't that safe, right? Considering the way things are right now. I guess one question that is pertinent and that we can all ask ourselves, and then we can design our own answers, is how far along with this shitty start will management be willing to go to? At what point will they start to fire people and or make changes, right? We're 18 games in. The Leafs are a couple of games out of a playoff spot. They have not looked very good. When you look at the way they've played, 5 straight losses, I don't care. 1 overtime loss, it's a fucking loss, guys. It's 5 straight losses, right? The team's 1-5 on the road, a -5 on the season, right? So they've given up more goals than they've scored. 18 games, so around the quarter point. Does this have to get to Christmas? Does it have to get into the new year with the team still out of the playoffs and just kind of mired in mediocrity before something is done, right? Again, Boston back on top 2 years ago, had the best season ever, and then beat the Leafs and then didn't get anywhere in the playoffs. And then last year shit the bed because of a crappy start, and it was just what it was. Not necessarily that the team wasn't good. It was a shitty start. They had to make some changes, got rid of the coach who led them to all these great heights, and here they are again, right? We can look at baseball. The Blue Jays in the playoffs in 2023. It was a shit show in Minnesota. It was what it was. Got off to a crappy start in 24. Finished with the worst record in the AL East, and then we're literally 2 outs away from winning the fucking World Series about 3 weeks ago, right? In 2025. Shitty starts can cause you seasons, right? They can set you back. Maybe this group isn't meant to do anything in 2025, 2026, based on the way things have begun. Again, a relative question is how much further down the road do you think management is willing to go with the way this team is playing before it starts to make changes? And I'm not just talking about Treliving and his group, but the people above Treliving. Francisco Pinto, hey, Treliving is garbage. I'm going to let you say it here because, when Mike's back, he doesn't like that kind of that language directed towards these guys. I'm just looking for a few other people. Okay, Giovanni, thank you very much for being here. Greetings and salutations, boys in blue. I mean, we are the Maple Brothers, right? We're a group, and when this team does well, I mean, we're skeptical of it, and when the team it does poorly, I mean, we like to add fuel to the fire. That's just kind of the way it is. I really appreciate you guys being here. The other thing about this Leafs team that I wanted to bring up, and Mike can't relate to this because he's in Buffalo. He's a Yankees fan. He hates the Blue Jays. I think, and again, I'm not shitting on Mike at all, but I don't think he really understood the gravity of what the Jays did here and how it really galvanized the country and how it really changed our perception about that team and just how monumental that run was for the Toronto Blue Jays. So this is another reason why we are looking at the Leafs with the lens that we're looking at them with, in such a kind of a sour, skeptical way beyond how we typically would look at them, because we're coming off this high of the Blue Jays run. The Jays, I mean, two outs away, right? Jeff Hoffman, like you can't fall behind. You strike out Kiki Hernandez. You can't fall behind Miguel Rojas. Just go at him. And that's the baseball stuff. But 2 outs away from winning a World Series. And where Ernie Clement's a household name, Addison Barger becomes a household name, Atreya Savage, just the momentum this team was riding to the point where it nearly knocked off the bloody Dodgers. And then it doesn't happen, but it's not like we hate the team or we're so disappointed that the team let us down. I mean, it's baseball. They had 5 or 6 opportunities to win that fucking thing, right? I mean, Andy Pages makes the catch of his life, tripping over Kike Hernandez. I mean, how does he make that catch? That ball drops in, the Jays win, right? Dalton Varsho, lift one in the outfield, for God's sakes, right? You know, IKF, take a lead off at third base, right? So these are all little things that had they been done in a different way, the Jays would have won their third World Series. But it was just such an amazing time for all of us, even non-baseball fans, non-Leaf fans for sure, who like baseball, coming together to support the Blue Jays. And then this from the Maple Leafs, right? This kind of tepid start, just a boring start. Matthews just kind of doesn't look that great. Is most boring 9 goals ever. Team's out of the playoffs, shitty on the road, a -5 after the high of what the Blue Jays accomplished. It makes it look worse. It really does. And I'll leave you guys with this. You know, I don't love the Leafs the way I used to. And some of that's age. I'm 49 years of age now, and all these guys are half my age, some even younger, right? And it's not that I don't care about kids playing. I'm a baseball coach. I absolutely do. It's just the connection with these guys starts to further, right? It's you don't have that same kind. You don't not looking up to the players anymore because they're older than you or they look older than you. You're just looking for players to inspire you now, especially since as a Leaf fan, I've got nothing to show for it other than the Wendell Clark era, the Dougie era, the Leafs Kings in '93, and the run last year. I don't really have a hell of a lot to show for it, right? So I want this team to inspire me, and this collection of guys, there's no way it's going to be able to inspire me outside of getting on a run and rolling up their sleeves and finding a way to overcome their deficiencies and their shortcomings and maybe punch above their weight a little bit. I want to be inspired the same way I was inspired by the Blue Jays. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. And the fact we go from that high, so close to a championship, but really proud of those dudes, the way they came around, worst to first, and with a lot of potential, we believe, to kind of continue this run for several seasons to come. And then with the contrast is the bloody Maple Leafs that lost their nerve and blew a wheel when they had the chance to take out the Stanley Cup champs, have followed that up with a really lackluster start, right? And then you look at management and you look at coaching, and it's all shitty. It's really hard to love the Leafs right now. OG's converts, what say you? I appreciate you being here. It was really nice of you guys to hang out with me and let me get some stuff off my chest. And I know you guys are you're feeling the same way. Real quick, before I go, what the hell, Pete something. Clearly, Matthews is incapable of leading this team. He never exudes a feeling of him being willing to push himself to a true 110% effort. We don't know that, but that's his disposition, right? When he came on the scene with all of his boys and the Leafs were scoring like crazy and they gave us reason to believe, we didn't worry about those kinds of things. Now, the team, after a lot of major accomplishment, not the accomplishment we wanted, and growth, and just seeing what he's seen and being a part of what he's been a part of, and that's a relationship we've had for the past decade. um, the true guy is kind of coming to light, and we don't necessarily like it because what he represents has not fulfilled its obligation, and that's winning a championship. So the question will be, can Austin Matthews find a second gear in the second half of his career with whomever the Leafs surround him with, and finally get the job done. And again, I don't know if we'll ever be able to have the same relationship with Matthews that we once did, because he was a kid then, rocking and rolling. Now he's a guy who basically is the leader of this organization, whether you want to admit it or not, whether he wants to admit it. And as Austin Matthews goes, so goes the organization, and vice versa. And after 18, 19 games this season, in 2025, 2026, the going ain't that great. Guys, like the content, subscribe to the channel. If I missed your comment, I'm so sorry. We'll get you the next time. I'm trying to find people that I haven't had a chance to bring into the chat, but it looks like pretty much we got everybody. Yeah, so 2 games at home coming up this week. You got St. Louis, and you have the Columbus Blue Jackets. I've got 7 wins or something like that at home. Yeah, there's the 8 wins on the season, 7 wins at home. So I mean, maybe they can find a way to get, I don't know, 3 or 4 points potentially, and start working their way up into a position where they can strike when guys get healthy again, and when they can, find a spark and get moving in the right direction, right? So we'll see. All right, Mr. Augello will be back next week. I appreciate you guys being with me in the chat. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy some football. Take a deep breath. I mean, there are a lot of things worse than the Maple Leafs and their play right now. Not a lot, actually, not a lot, but there are some things worse than the way the Leafs are playing at this point. It's hopefully onwards and upwards from here. I appreciate it, guys. Have a great day. The Leafs Convo is out.